The Buddha further explained,
projection bodies are mind-made bodies projected at will while in samadhi. There are 3 kinds of projection bodies obtained after the first bodhisattva stage. The first is the projection body that experiences the bliss of samadhi, when experiencing samadhi on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th bodhisattva stages, when thoughts become still and waves of consciousness in the ocean of the mind cease, one will realize that all is mind only. The second is the projection body that realizes the essential nature of phenomena, when realizing the illusoriness of phenomena at the 8th bodhisattva stage. With knowledge of the unfolding of all forms, one's limbs will be adorned with all attributes, entering Buddha assemblies, and being versed in the nature of phenomena. The third is the projection body whose natural state is motionless. Here, one will attain the realization that the characteristics of all the teachings of the Buddhas are based on the manner in which they allow one to liberate one's own mind. Understand, then, that the Buddha's path is simultaneously empty and imbued with the ability to aid beings.
The Buddha explains an inversion of the 5 grave offenses as follows.
A person who commits the 5 grave offenses does not fall into avicii hell, because killing one's mother means severing desire to be reborn. Killing one's father means severing ignorance, by which one is born. Killing an arhat means exterminating hidden passions, like hidden rodents. Disrupting the sangha means destroying the characteristics that form the aggregates. Drawing the blood of a Buddha is transforming the 7 consciousnesses, which embody the Buddha one imagines becoming through cultivation. One who does these deeds is called unrelenting. Of course, one who commits the external 5 grave offenses cannot attain liberation. But one who commits the 5 grave offenses through spiritual power may do so as a manifestation to encourage others who commit them to end their transgressions. But those who continue cannot avoid birth in avicii hell until they realize all is mind only, or they encounter a good friend, that is, the Buddha.
The Buddha explains further.
The awareness of a Buddha consists in realizing no self in beings or things, understanding the obstructions of passion and knowledge, transcending karmic and transformation death of an arhat, and ending the afflictions of the senses and what they give rise to. Shravakas and Prataka Buddhas who also realize these are called Buddhas as well. I am all Buddhas of the past, or a particular individual in a past life, because of the 4 uniformities. First, the uniformity of syllables. The same syllables are used to call all Buddhas Buddha. Second, the uniformity of voices. The 64 transcendent sounds that characterize my voice characterize the voices of all Buddhas. Third, the uniformity of bodies. There is no difference between the Dhamma body of different Buddhas, or the marks of their physical bodies. Different guises are manifestations to teach beings. Fourth, uniformity of teachings. All Buddhas teach the 37 factors of awakening and speak with unobstructed wisdom.
The Buddha explains.
I only teach by not speaking a word because of 2 Dharma natures. First, the Dharma nature of personal realization. What other Tathagatas realize, beyond explanations or distinctions and beyond dualism. Second, the ever-present Dharma nature, the Dharma realm, which is always present like the nature of gold. Like a person discovering an old city along an old path who did not make the road or the city. People depend on, fall prey to, and try to escape existence and non-existence. People depend on existence because they think the world arises based on causes and conditions and ceases in their absence. Those who claim it doesn't claim it has no cause. People depend on non-existence when they imagine that greed, anger, and delusion exist, and suppose that they may not exist. They also don't perceive these in awakened ones. They suppose they existed and then ceased existing. Thus, these are nihilists both internally and externally. But greed, anger, and delusion cannot be seen internally or externally because there is nothing to see. Awakened ones have the nature of liberation, with neither bondage nor the cause of bondage. If they had bondages, their cause would be bondage. Nihilism is to turn no appearance into a view. So belief in a self is better than a vain and empty view of emptiness. Nihilists don't realize characteristics existing or not are perceptions of their own mind. They see impermanence as emptiness, not realizing that impermanent phenomena are mind only. There are 2 ways. First, the way of attainment, which is personal realization transcending projections of words, leading to passionlessness, and the stages free from speculations, overcoming the merits, and shining forth inner awareness. Second, the way of instruction. Instruction in the 9 types of teachings free from characteristics of duality, using skillful means to help others attain liberation. Projections arise from attachment to misperceptions of different objects, which are perceptions of beings' own minds. Being abetted by the views of others, and the habit energy of their own projections, beings become attached to external objects, the mind, and what belongs to the mind, thus projecting self and what belongs to the self.
Muhammad asks,
attachment to projections of the mind give rise to further projections, but why not attachment to ultimate truth?
The Buddha answers,
it is not a case of them arising in one case or not arising in another, for when beings see projections of the mind as mind only, then they cease giving rise to further projections. By thus transforming their view, they see things clearly as mind only.
The Buddha explained,
Bodhisattvas should become versed in speech and meaning. Speech is using projections and words relying on the parts of the mouth. It arises from attachment to habit energy of discriminating one's own and others' words. Meaning transcends characteristics of projections and speech, on the basis of meaning, through wisdom gained from learning, reflection, and meditation. Bodhisattvas transform habit energy, contemplate distinctive characteristics of meaning, and proceed to personal realization. Bodhisattvas regard speech and meaning as neither the same nor different. One illuminates the other, like a lamp illuminates form, but attachment to meanings is falling prey to views and projections of assertion or denial.
The Buddha distinguishes the characteristics of knowledge and consciousness, explaining,
knowledge has 3 kinds. Firstly, mundane, ordinary knowledge of those attached to existence and non-existence. Secondly, metaphysical, knowledge of Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas who fall prey to longing and attachment to individual and shared characteristics. Thirdly, transcendent, knowledge of awakened ones who contemplate what is free from projections and see it as neither arising nor ceasing, transcending existence and non-existence, with absence of self depending on personal attainment. Transcendent knowledge is what neither arises nor ceases. It has 3 objects. The object of knowledge of arising and cessation, the object of knowledge of individual and shared characteristics, and the object of knowledge of non-arising and non-cessation. Transcendent knowledge also has no obstructions and is characterized by being absent of anything self-existent. It is characterized by non-attainment. The realm of Buddha knowledge is neither present nor absent, like the moon in water. As for consciousness, it is what arises and ceases, and falls prey to characteristics of existence and non-existence. Consciousness is characterized by increase. It has obstructions of the external realms. It is characterized by what arises from threefold combinations. It is characterized by attainment and accumulates karma.